I encourage you to keep moving forward, even in the silence. Keep trusting, even when it feels like you're alone. Your growth is being prepared in this season, and when the time is right, God will bring the crown. It will not be too early or too late. It will come at the perfect time, when you are ready to wear it with grace and humility. Trust that the waiting is part of the process. The crown will come, and it will fit perfectly because you will have grown into it. As you continue on this journey, I want you to remember that you are not alone. Heaven is watching, and heaven is proud of your endurance. You are exactly where you need to be, and everything that has happened in your life has led you to this moment. The crown is coming, and you are being prepared to wear it well. I invite you to comment 777 once again, signaling your readiness for the next chapter in your journey. This is a declaration that you are aligned with God's plan, that you are ready to step into the next season of your life, and that you are trusting His timing. You are not alone in this. Heaven is proud of your faithfulness, your consistency, and your endurance. You are being prepared for greatness, and the crown is closer than you think. Stay faithful. Stay strong. Stay aligned with God's plan, and know that when the time is right, you will step into the purpose and destiny that God has been preparing you for all along. This season of solitude is where your foundation is being built. The crown will come, but the strength and wisdom to carry it will come from the quiet moments of preparation you are going through now. Stay faithful in this season. Stay faithful even when it feels like no one is noticing your struggle, even when it feels like your work is going unnoticed. Heaven sees you. God sees your faithfulness. And He is proud of you. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared for something great, something that will last, something that will bring glory to God and serve those around you. So, chosen one, as you walk through this quiet season, remember that God is doing a deep work within you. Trust that He is aligning you for what is to come. The crown is closer than you think, but it will not come until you are ready to bear the weight of it. It is not just about being seen, it is about being transformed into the person who can handle the responsibility that comes with the elevation. The character, wisdom, and emotional maturity you are developing now are what will sustain you when the crown is placed upon your head. In solitude, God is building your discernment. He is sharpening your ability to hear His voice, to see clearly, and to understand the world around you in a way that only comes when distractions are removed. You're learning to trust your inner guidance, the whispers of the Holy Spirit, and the quiet strength that comes from knowing who you are in God. You're learning to see through the noise of the world and to focus on what truly matters. You're being refined, not just in your actions, but in your heart. And this is what will sustain you when you step into your calling. You are also being strengthened emotionally. Emotional maturity is something that cannot be rushed. It is built in the quiet moments, in the times when you feel like no one understands your pain, when you carry burdens that seem too heavy to bear. It is in those moments that God is teaching you how to endure, how to grow through the pain, and how to trust that He is using it all to shape you into the person you are becoming. Emotional strength is necessary for the responsibilities that come with leadership. When you are called to guide others, to influence those around you, you will need emotional resilience. And this time of solitude is building that resilience in you. But remember, the crown that is coming is not just about public recognition. It is not just about being seen or celebrated. The crown is about the responsibility that comes with it. It is about serving others with humility, leading with wisdom, and carrying the weight of influence with grace. God's process of elevation is not about building your platform or increasing your visibility. It is about building your character, your faith, and your ability to serve others in a way that reflects His love and grace. The crown is not just a symbol of power, it is a symbol of service, and it is given to those who have learned the lessons of humility, patience, and trust. Right now, you may be walking through a time of waiting, a time when it feels like nothing is moving forward. But let me reassure you, this time is not wasted. God does not waste any season of your life. He uses every moment, every quiet night, every tear, every unanswered prayer, to prepare you for the next chapter of your journey. You may not see it now, but the crown is closer than you think. And it's not just about the elevation or recognition that may come with it. It's about the internal transformation happening in this quiet season. It's about the integrity, the wisdom, and the spiritual maturity that are being built within you. These things are necessary for the responsibility that will come when the crown is finally placed upon your head. In this time of solitude, God is doing more than just preparing you for a crown. He is preparing you for the weight of what it means to wear it. When the crown comes, it will not overwhelm you, because it will be something you've been growing into. The loneliness you've been experiencing has not been to punish you or leave you in despair. It has been to strengthen you, to refine you, and to teach you how to stand firm in the face of challenges. It's been a time of growth that will carry you through the storms that are sure to come when you step into the role you were always destined for. Remember, David spent years in solitude before he ever stepped into the palace. He was alone, hidden, preparing in private while the world saw him as just a shepherd boy. But during that time, God was strengthening him, teaching him how to lead, how to trust, and how to depend on him alone. David didn't become king in an instant. His journey was long, and the preparation was deep. He learned to rely on God's timing, to trust in God's plan, and to be faithful even when no one was watching. This is the same process that you are going through now. God is building something in you that will last, something that will withstand the pressure's end. David's journey to the throne was not easy, but it was worth it. The lessons he learned in the fields, in the moments of solitude, were the ones that prepared him to lead with wisdom and grace. The same is true for you. You may not see it now, but the solitude, the waiting, and the quiet moments of preparation are shaping you into the person you need to be to carry out the calling God has placed on your life. Heaven is proud of your faithfulness, even in the silence. And when the time comes for your elevation, you will be ready. So don't despise the waiting. Don't rush through the process. Embrace the solitude. Embrace the silence. Because in those moments, God is doing His deepest work within you, preparing you for the crown that is coming. The crown is not just for glory. It is for responsibility. And the responsibility requires a depth of character, a humility that can only be cultivated in the quiet moments of waiting. Remember, you are not alone in this process. Heaven sees you. Heaven is proud of you. And the crown is closer than you think. Keep walking, keep trusting, and know that God's timing is perfect. When the time is right, the crown will come, and you will be ready to wear it with grace, humility, and strength. The journey you've walked hasn't been easy. The loneliness, the silence, the moments where it feels like you're giving everything without receiving anything in return, these are all part of God's divine plan for your life. You may not always understand the weight of what you're carrying right now, but know this, you are exactly where you need to be. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. The heaviness of this season is not a sign that you've been abandoned by God. It is a sign of divine preparation. God has a purpose for every season in your life, and even though it feels heavy and difficult, it is precisely this solitude and quietness that is shaping you into the person you need to be for what is coming. This is why the waiting period is so important. It is in these moments of solitude that you are learning what it means to walk in divine approval. God's approval is not based on outward appearances or the applause of the crowd. It is based on the heart that chooses to obey even when it's hard, the heart that continues to trust even when the path ahead is unclear, and the heart that remains faithful even when it feels like no one is watching. In the quiet, God is shaping you. He is preparing you for the crown, but more importantly, He is preparing you for the responsibility that comes with it. The crown represents authority, influence, and leadership, but those who wear the crown must be ready to carry it with grace, wisdom, and humility. And this readiness is not something that can be rushed. It is something that must be cultivated in the private moments, in the seasons of isolation, in the periods of waiting. When you finally step into the season of elevation, when the crown is placed on your head, it will not feel like a sudden arrival. It will feel like a natural progression, a culmination of everything that has been building in the quiet. You will have walked through the fire of solitude, and you will have emerged stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. The crown will not overwhelm you because you will have already learned how to carry it in the private moments of preparation. During this season of waiting, it's important to remember that God sees you. Even when it feels like you're invisible to others, even when it feels like no one notices your struggles or your sacrifices, heaven is watching. Your faithfulness in the private places, your obedience in the moments when no one is applauding, is what shapes your destiny. You are not overlooked. You are being prepared for something great, something that requires deep character, humility, and strength. And it is in these quiet moments of solitude that your character is being tested and refined. David didn't become king because he was flawless. He became king because he was faithful when no one was watching. He stayed true to God even when he had every reason to doubt. He trusted God's timing, even when the path ahead seemed unclear. And it was in this process of waiting, of enduring loneliness and isolation, that David developed the qualities that made him a great king. He learned to lead with humility, to make decisions with integrity, and to trust in God's plan for his life. And this same process is at work in your life right now. When you feel unseen, when you feel like no one understands your pain or your struggles, remember that heaven sees you. Heaven sees your tears, your struggles, your obedience in the silence. God is not impressed by public accolades or external success. He is impressed by your consistency, your faithfulness, and your heart that continues to follow him, even when no one else is watching. It is in these moments of isolation that your character is being forged. Just as David fought lions and bears in the wilderness, learning how to protect what was entrusted to him, you are learning how to protect your own heart, how to defend your peace, and how to trust God when the circumstances around you are uncertain. These lessons in loneliness are preparing you for the weight of the crown that is to come. The crown you are destined to wear is not just for glory, but for responsibility. It will require you to stand firm, to make difficult decisions, and to lead with wisdom and compassion. And these qualities cannot be developed overnight. They take time. They take testing. And they take moments of solitude and silence, where you can hear the quiet whispers of God guiding you toward your purpose. There is a saying that, quietness is the loudest part of growth, and in the stillness, God does his deepest work. It is in the quiet moments, in the seasons where it feels like nothing is happening, that God is refining you, shaping you, and preparing you for what lies ahead. This is why the process takes time. God is not in a hurry to crown you before your heart is ready to bear the weight of the responsibility. If David had been crowned too soon, before his character had been fully developed, the pressures of leadership could have destroyed him. But instead, God allowed him to face challenges that would strengthen him, that would build resilience in him, and that would prepare him to lead the people of Israel with wisdom. The same is true for you. There will be moments when you feel like you're being held back, when it seems like everyone else is moving ahead while you're stuck in a place of waiting. But God's timing is perfect, and he knows when you are truly ready to step into the next season of your life. It is in this waiting, this quiet time of preparation, that you are being molded into the person you need to be to carry out the calling on your life. You are no. God's process of elevation is slow and deliberate. It's a process that requires patience, faith, and trust in his perfect timing. Just as David had to wait in the fields, tending sheep and facing personal battles without anyone acknowledging him, so too must you endure in this season of hiddenness and preparation. The journey is not about external validation. It's about the work God is doing within you in private. And while the world may not see it, heaven is watching with approval. David's journey to the throne is a perfect example of how God's timing works in the lives of his chosen ones. David was the youngest of his brothers, seemingly the least likely to be chosen as king. But God saw something in him that others didn't, something in his heart, something in his character that was being formed in the hidden places. When Samuel went to anoint the next king of Israel, he was drawn to the older, taller, stronger brothers. But God rejected them all. It was the young shepherd boy, David, who was chosen. And yet, even after his anointing, he didn't immediately step into a place of prominence or authority. Instead, he returned to the fields to tend to his sheep, continuing his life as if nothing had changed. David's elevation didn't come in an instant. It came through years of preparation, years of hiddenness, years of learning lessons that would shape him into the king God knew he would become. David didn't learn leadership in a palace. He didn't learn resilience and strength in a place of comfort. He learned it in the fields, in isolation, and in loneliness. And the same is true for you. Your lessons are being written not in the noise of the crowd but in the silence of your private moments with God. As you continue to walk through this period of isolation, know that God is preparing you for something extraordinary. The weight of this season, the heaviness of loneliness, is not meant to crush you. It is meant to refine you. It is meant to shape you into the person you are called to be. So don't fight the loneliness. Don't run from the silence. Embrace it. Allow it to do its work in you. God is with you in this space, and He is using this time to transform you into someone who can carry the crown with integrity, humility, and strength. When you emerge from this season, you will be unrecognizable, not because you've changed who you are, but because you will have become who you were always meant to be. The loneliness you're experiencing now is not the end of the story. It is just the beginning. Keep walking, keep trusting, and know that heaven is watching with pride. You are not alone. You are being prepared for something great. It is often said that God's timing is perfect, but when we're in the midst of our own journey, it can be difficult to see that perfection unfold. We find ourselves in seasons of waiting, in moments where we wonder if anything is happening at all. Yet, God doesn't rush His work, especially when it comes to His chosen ones. The elevation you long for, whether it's recognition, responsibility, or influence, will come, but it will not come prematurely. Just like David, who was anointed to be king but spent years in the wilderness before he ever wore the crown, your journey is not about rushing toward the destination, but rather about being transformed along the way. And this is a lesson that will serve you well in the future. As you continue to grow into your calling, you will be entrusted with greater responsibilities, and with that will come moments when you will have to stand alone, to make decisions in the quiet, and to carry burdens that others may not fully understand. But it is in these moments of loneliness, of solitude, that your character is being forged. The ability to be strong when no one is watching, to do what is right even when it feels hard and painful, is what will define you as a leader. The world often celebrates the visible, the loud, the successful, but God celebrates those who are faithful in the unseen moments, those who continue to follow Him even when the world doesn't applaud. The loneliness that you're experiencing now is not a sign that you're failing or falling behind. It is a sign that you are being prepared for something greater, something that requires a depth of character that cannot be developed in the hustle of everyday life. And so, this loneliness you're feeling, this sacred separation, is not something to be feared or avoided. It is something to be embraced. God is using it to build something in you that will sustain you when the weight of your calling is placed on your shoulders. It is preparing you to carry the crown with grace, with humility, and with the wisdom that only comes from walking through the fire of solitude. In this season, your relationship with God is deepening. The way He speaks to you, the way you listen to Him, is changing. He is moving you beyond the surface-level faith that can be influenced by the opinions of others. He is taking you to a place where your trust in Him is unshakable, where your reliance on His strength is stronger than any reliance on the approval or validation of the world around you. And this deepened connection with God, this inner strength that you are building, is exactly what you need to fulfill your purpose. God uses silence and solitude to do something deeply transformative within His chosen ones. In this place of isolation, He is preparing you for emotional self-reliance. This process is not easy, and it's one of the most difficult aspects of the journey, because it requires you to stand strong even when there is no one around to hold you up. You may have spent much of your life being the strong one, the one others turn to for support, the one who listens, the one who gives advice, the one who keeps it all together. But in this season, you're being asked to learn how to be the strong one for yourself. This is not a rejection of your desire for connection or community. On the contrary, it is a preparation for the responsibilities that lie ahead. You see, leadership, true leadership, is not about always having someone to lean on. It's about learning how to find your strength in God, How to rise on your own in moments when others cannot be there for you. The pain of emotional self-reliance can feel isolating. It can feel as if you're carrying the weight of your world on your shoulders, with no one to share the burden. But this burden is not meant to break you. It is meant to make you stronger, to build an inner fortitude that will allow you to lead, to serve, and to guide others in ways you can't yet understand. Emotional self-reliance doesn't mean that you don't need others or that you are completely isolated from human connection. It means that you learn how to draw your strength from within and from God, so that when those moments of solitude come, and they will come, you can handle them with grace and resilience. God does not want you to crumble in the absence of others, He wants you to rise. He wants you to stand firm in His presence, knowing that He is with you in the silence. This season of emotional self-reliance is teaching you how to lean on God, and how to trust that He is your constant companion, even when it feels like no one else is there. Loneliness, in this context, becomes a tool, an instrument used by God to carve out space within you for something new. It is not about absence but about preparation. Your soul is being pruned. Your spirit is being conditioned for the task that lies ahead. Much like a seed must be buried in the dark soil to sprout and grow, your destiny requires moments of darkness, of solitude, to take root deep within you. The silence you are feeling is the quiet before the storm of purpose. It's the divine pause that precedes elevation. God uses these seasons of quiet separation not to hurt you, but to refine you. When God pulls you away from the noise and the distractions of this world, He is pulling you toward Him. In the silence, you learn to hear His voice clearly. You learn to stand firm without applause, to thrive without the validation of others. The season of sacred loneliness that you are walking through is not about you being unseen, it's about you becoming spiritually visible to God. When no one else is around, that's when God can shape you in ways that will withstand the storms of public scrutiny and external challenges. As the loneliness deepens, so too does the clarity. In the quiet spaces where others cannot reach, your vision sharpens. You begin to see things clearly, not just in your external world, but within yourself. You begin to understand why certain things have not worked out in the past, why certain relationships have fallen away, and why you've been led down this path of solitude. The clarity that arises in the silence is one that the crowds cannot provide. You will see the motives behind the actions of others, the underlying truths that go unnoticed in the busy rush of everyday life. You will also see yourself more clearly, your fears, your weaknesses, but also your strength. And this vision, this deepened self-awareness, is preparing you to carry the weight of the calling that is on your life. But I know you are strong. I know you have already endured so much. And even when you feel alone, even when you feel like no one sees you, know this: heaven is proud of you. God is proud of you. And He is using every moment of this season to prepare you for the crown that is closer than you think. So, chosen one, do not give up. Do not rush this process. Trust the silence. Trust the solitude. Trust that God is doing a work in you that will set you apart for the greatness that lies ahead. You are not alone. Heaven is watching. Heaven is proud. And the crown is coming. Stay faithful, stay strong, and know that you are exactly where you need to be. The loneliness you're experiencing is not a punishment, nor is it a sign that God has abandoned you. Far from it. It is a sacred separation, a divine moment where God is calling you to walk alone, so He can prepare you for something greater. You might feel as if the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and you might wonder why, despite your best efforts to fit in or find solace in the company of others, you still feel alone. The truth is that you are not being rejected, you are being set apart. There's a vast difference between rejection and separation, and this distinction is key to understanding what you are experiencing right now. Rejection comes when others deem you unworthy or unfit, but separation is a divine act of positioning. God is intentionally pulling you aside because He has something unique in store for you. Your life is different from the others around you, not because you are better, but because your calling is distinct, and that calling demands a kind of focus and intimacy that cannot be found in the hustle of constant companionship or external validation. Think about it. David the young shepherd, wasn't crowned king the moment Samuel anointed him. No, he went back to the fields, back to isolation, back to loneliness. But that time in the wilderness wasn't wasted. That's where David learned his courage. That's where he learned to trust God when no one was watching. That's where he learned that the crown isn't just a reward, it's a responsibility. And God knew that before David could wear the crown, he had to first endure the preparation that came in private. This is what you're going through right now, chosen one. You are in the wilderness. You are in the field. But I want you to understand something. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are being prepared. You are being refined. And heaven is watching. Heaven sees your endurance. Heaven sees your quiet obedience. Heaven sees your unwavering faith in the face of silence. You might not be able to see it now, but the crown is coming. And when it comes, it will not be given to you prematurely. It will come when your heart is ready to bear the weight. It will come when your character has been refined in the fire of solitude. It will come when you have learned to trust God's timing, not your own. And when that crown comes, it will be more than just a symbol of your victory. It will be a testament to the faithfulness you displayed when no one else was watching, when no one else believed in you, and when the road ahead seemed uncertain. This loneliness you're experiencing is not because you are unloved or unworthy. In fact, it is the opposite. You are being set apart because you carry something rare. The work God is doing in your life right now requires silence, space, and stillness. It requires you to be alone with your thoughts, alone with your prayers, and most importantly, alone with God. And it is in this solitude that He is doing a deep, transforming work in your soul. This sacred loneliness is not a punishment. It's a tool. It's a way God is clearing out distractions, stripping away dependencies, and teaching you to rely solely on Him. When God is preparing you for greatness, He doesn't rush the process. He doesn't hurry the work. He allows you to experience this solitude, this separation, because only in this place can He teach you the lessons that will shape you into the leader, the person of influence, and the chosen one you are destined to be. And let me remind you of something else, chosen one, this time of silence, of waiting, is not in vain. Even though it feels heavy, even though it feels like the silence is suffocating, it is in this space that your character is being tested. You may not see it now, but every moment of waiting, every night spent in tears, every prayer that feels unanswered is being used by God to strengthen you. God doesn't waste a single moment. He doesn't waste a single tear. Every part of your journey is being carefully orchestrated for your future. But I know how hard it is to hold on to this truth when the loneliness feels overwhelming. You may be wondering, why is this happening to me? Why do I feel so disconnected? Why does it feel like no one understands? These are the questions that plague your mind, aren't they? And it's okay to have them. It's okay to ask why, because even in your questioning, God is listening. Even in your moments of doubt, He is right there beside you, guiding you. But let me give you this truth, it's not a sign of weakness. Let me speak to you honestly, chosen one, because sometimes you need the truth to sink in deep. The journey ahead of you, the one you've been walking, requires patience, endurance, and sometimes, a lot of silence. But it is in that silence that God is doing His greatest work within you. Just like David, you might feel a deep loneliness, a sense of being set apart, and it can be overwhelming. The people around you may not understand the weight you carry, the thoughts you wrestle with, or the prayers you've whispered in the quiet of your heart. But let me assure you, what you are feeling right now is not a sign of weakness, nor is it a mark of rejection. It's a sacred loneliness. It's a purposeful separation that is preparing you for the crown. Now, I know that when you look at your life, it doesn't seem like the crown is anywhere in sight. In fact, you might feel more like David did when he was still tending the sheep in the fields, alone, unseen, and misunderstood. But hear this, the loneliness you are feeling right now is not because God has abandoned you. It is not because He has forgotten you or set you aside. No. God is using this moment to shape you. He is refining you, building your character, and preparing you for the responsibilities that come with your divine calling. You are being prepared for a crown that is coming. The question is not if it will come, but when, and that moment is getting closer than you think. Chosen one, listen to me carefully. I have an urgent and important message to share with you today, and I want you to understand something from the start. This message is not for everyone. It's not for the ones who are merely curious about faith or not fully committed to walking the divine path with God. No, this message is for the ones who are truly chosen, those who have been following God with sincerity in their hearts, who have felt His presence guiding them even in the darkest moments. If you're still here, if you've stayed with me so far, then know this: God's timing is perfect, and this message has reached you at exactly the right moment, not too early, not too late. It's a divine appointment. You're here because God is speaking to you now, in the season that He has carefully prepared for you. The journey that you are walking is not random. It's not a series of disconnected events happening by chance. No, what you are experiencing right now has been orchestrated by the very hand of God. You may feel that you've been abandoned, overlooked, or forgotten, but I am here to remind you that heaven is watching. Heaven is proud of you. And, just like God was proud of David before he ever wore the crown, so too is heaven proud of you, right now, in this very moment of your life, even though you might feel invisible, even though no one else might seem to notice your struggle.